Hi, Emmitt.
Hey, what's happening?
I figured we'd get this started in a beautiful way. The best way. Okay. You're going to like this. I think you're really going to appreciate this. It's going to set the tone for what we're going to be talking about today, however you want to go about that. So here we go. Get it! Super Bowl weekend is on its way. Emmitt's happy. I think we're going to differ. We're going to differ on our predictions. I can tell you that. And it's just a good feeling on my part. So we're going to differ. But how do you feel going into this weekend? The Eagles look loose. The Eagles look loose. The Patriots look very loose. I was telling this to a person at work. I said, it's not often that you look at the Patriots during Super Bowl week and you see how relaxed they are with interviews, with everything else. It's just different. The Eagles have been playing loose all year, so this is nothing new for them. The pressure's going to be a little bit higher, especially for that no-namer Nick Foles, who I apologized on the old tweeter there. I talked a bunch of BS about him because I didn't feel it was very. I don't think he really played that well to garner all that attention and all the love and all the dick sucking he was getting there, and he proved me wrong. He looked great in the last game. That's 2 weeks ago though. But the Patriots are a different animal, and nobody knows about this different animal better than you. Nobody knows it better. Quite possibly the best person on the face of the earth, the best, the greatest. Nobody knows the Patriots. Nobody respects the Patriots. Nobody is the Patriots quite like the guy that we have on the phone tonight at Emmitt. Emmitt, let's hear your Super Bowl.
That's very true. I appreciate the compliment. I'm going to take it as one.
You're welcome.
So you said, how do I feel about this game coming up?
How do you feel from your point of view?
Nervous because they're playing a team that can very well beat them. I think it's going to be a close game, regardless, but look at at least the last, including this Super Bowl and the last two, where they played the Falcons and the Seahawks. Who was the more talented team those last two times?
Yeah. And I'm
just talent-wise, it was Seattle and Atlanta. They obviously had more talent, and you could argue, besides Brady and Foles, Philadelphia is probably more talented, even with Gronk going to be able to play. Ertz is still a very good tight end. I think they're close. I think Gronk's obviously a little bit better, but they're fairly close.
Quite a bit better. Let's be honest here.
Other than the tight end and the quarterback matchup, the Patriots I don't really think have. Defensively, I think just overall, especially the front four, Eagles are more talented on defense. They got some better weapons, not a better system, but better weapons on offense as well.
I agree. And it's going to come down to the defensive matchups. I think it comes down to the Patriots defense playing against the Eagles offense. Every single time I go into games, I'm like, you know what? This is the defense that's going to stop Tom Brady. And then Tom Brady rolls to the right. He looks left, looks right, looks down the field, looks behind him and see if Giselle's looking at him. Of course she is. And then he just, falls to the right and tosses it 75 yards in the air to Amendola for a reception for a first down that pretty well clinches the game. I don't know if it matters what defense is across the field from Brady. He always seems to just kind of bend him over and give him a little spank here and there.
But I think another way, you're always nervous, just watching these games, especially being a fan of the Patriots. But it kind of feels in a way, not as much as like the last two Super Bowls, or the two Super Bowls where they played the Giants.
Yeah.
Because I think Philadelphia, this team just kind of overall is better. But the Giants, the similarities are Philadelphia has a fairly good defense and a good pass rush, just like the Giants did in 2007 and 2011. They have some pretty decent weapons on offense, just like the Giants did in both of those years. And they have an average to maybe even slightly below average quarterback, Foles and Eli Manning. So I think the similarities, those are the similarities that I see between those two Giant teams and this Eagles team.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I still, but also in a way, with not just being nervous here, I'm actually fairly confident as well.
Well, I mean, they've been there. They've been
weird,
there. Now let's look at the pregame. Let's think about everything. Now let me play for you quite possibly my most intrigued aspect of the night. How I feel it's going to start off on a good note. It goes right here. It goes with just wait. Carrie Underwood's gonna be the the best part. If Sunday Night Football did nothing else, they did it 100% correct in getting Carrie Underwood on there. Now I see she got pulled over for something around her house. I saw that on the news. That's big news. That could change everything that happens.
Not going to change anything.
No.
Not going to change the outcome of Sunday.
No, but at least everybody's going to start watching the game with a hard dick. So it's going to be incredible. It's going to be amazing. I think everybody's really going to enjoy that. But pregame, I'm thinking, obviously this is very well pregame because we're going to have about 18 hours of it on every network that you can possibly find that carries football. I'm thinking of X Factors. X Factor I see happening for the Eagles. I think the greatest X Factor that they possibly have, well, there's two. On defense, they have that rookie Barnett from Texas, edge rusher. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling he might be able to ruffle a few fellers there in the backfield. It's going to be interesting to see how Dion Lewis, James White, the other 18 running backs they have on their roster are able to help out in the backfield. But the biggest X factor I think could possibly be for the Eagles offense. I think it could be Corey Clement out of the backfield passing game, much in the way that the Patriots like to utilize Dion Lewis. They like to use him in a screen game that opens up that down the middle because they can use that as a play action later on in the game, and that's where Gronk gets a lot of his touches. So I like Corey Clement to be a big factor. How do you feel about the Patriots X factors? Who do you think is going to be besides Brady? Because he's an X factor. He's a triple X factor for all I know.
Yeah, I think what you need to watch out for the most on the offensive side for New England. I'd love to sit there and say the run game, but I don't even. It would be nice for them to get that going, which I think they can stick with that and do okay on the ground. But I don't think it's that big of a deal because, like you kind of mentioned there with Philadelphia, they can just dump it off to the running backs, and that kind of serves as a run play. Mm-hmm. So I think even if the running game's not going, they still have a very good chance of winning just because of who's under center. But yeah. I think the X factor for them, and I don't know, maybe this is a little bit crazy, but I think it's Brandon Cooks.
I was thinking the same exact person.
And I think Cooks and Brady, at least what you saw against the Jaguars a couple weeks ago, they kind of got in sync with one another, and he had a pretty big game, and came up with some big plays. But I really think it's gonna be Brandon Cooks. Can he go out and get 6-7 catches for 80 to 100 yards in that game? Maybe even have a big play for a touchdown. Maybe even, at any point in time, but maybe even early on, get that spark play going for them, where they can kind of go up early. And I was going to say another guy who came across my mind would be Amendola, but I don't think Amendola is as big if Gronk is there. No. I think the only reason he had a huge game 2 weeks ago was because of the absence of Gronk, and who's going to fill that role besides a slot receiver like a Welker and Edelman did. So now obviously they don't have Welker. Edelman's hurt. Amendola filled that void, and it was that kind of that check down guy that interior slot receiver that Brady needed to look to. But I think Amendola will still do well. But I think the overall the X factor on offense for New England is going to be Brandon Cooks.
Now, Chris Hogan, is he injured or is he healthy again? Because it seems like he was.
No, he played there in the AFC title game too. I'm sure he's still not 100%, but who is at this point?
Well,
yeah, he's going to be out there and going. But I think it's really Brandon Cooks over Hogan any day. I think he's got to get it going and have he doesn't have to, like I said, doesn't have to have a huge game, but if he can go out there, get 6 catches, 85 yards, touchdown would help, but just some big spark plays to kind of get them going.
Yeah. I mean, I look at Chris Hogan. I had him on my fantasy team, and I was like, all right, Patriot wide receiver. Can't be a wrong move picking him up, bringing him on the squad. Didn't win the championship. Doesn't matter, though. So, he only had 5 touchdowns through the regular season, but I swear to God, it seemed like he averaged 3 a game throughout the first, 7 weeks?
It felt like it, and he was out for 7 weeks, though, too.
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, you saw what he did against the Steelers, when was that? A year and a half? Well, was that just last year he tore them the hell up?
That would have been last year, yeah. He had 2 touchdowns. You
didn't expect it, and look what happened. I mean, he could be that little Goonie fella that they run out there. Or, who knows, Kenny Britt. Patriots just have a weird way of pulling stupid people that shouldn't be on the field and making them the best All-Stars that have ever played.
And that's so true. And did you notice who came up with fairly big catch in that game against the Jaguars?
Philip Dorsett.
Difficult. I mean, it was a great throw, but a very difficult catch. I'm down with it. Just play things like that. Kenny Britt could make a play or two in the fourth quarter, and it could be the biggest plays of the game. Like you said, they pull things, pull talent out of players that you didn't even know they had.
And that's the thing. Whenever Dorsett made
that's worked on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, whenever Dorsett made that catch, I just laid back and I'm like, are you kidding me? What? This guy literally just walked out of the shitter. He just dropped the mega deuce, and here he is on the field making a catch like that. It's just unbelievable what they're able to do with these people. And it's aggravating, as you can imagine, from a Steelers point of view. So, it's crazy.
Defensively though, for New England, the big thing would be getting pressure on Foles. That's going to be the biggest key for them. I think their corner secondary is good. They can hold their own, but you can't cover guys in the NFL for 4 or 5 seconds. That's a long, even 3 seconds is a long time. So they're going to have to get pressure with that, especially with the front 4 and even scheming some blitzes to rattle Foles.
Yeah.
And then you were saying, what you said, Corey Clement was going to be, you thought it was going to be the X factor then for the Eagles offensively.
And it's not that he had a huge season. It's just the fact that he was able to do it in various ways. I mean, it wasn't, like I just said, it wasn't an abundance of success in the end zone. It's he has good hands. He can run decent routes, and he's just kind of a scatty back, kind of a difference between, I mean, you pair Blunt and Ajayi with a guy like Clement. I mean, all 3 run a little bit differently from each other. And I think New England keeping up with that's going to be a whole different thing. I mean, it's not like it's Le'Veon Bell running, a half step behind everybody else for 10 seconds at a time before trying to push forward for 10, 15, 20 yards. It's just a different thing, and it's different from Fournette and Yeldon. So I think him stepping in, being able to be a factor, I think it's there. I think he has the potential to kind of do something. I mean, whether I'm not going to say it's going to be 4 touchdown performance. It may not even be a touchdown performance, but it could be a first down late in the game. It can be a first down on a 3rd and long, something like that. Something crazy that can happen. I mean, you just never know. And I think if there's going to be a guy on the team that can do it, that's not expected. I think it's going to be Clement. Because Ajayi is what he is. Blunt is what he is. It's just... And
I'm not even going to say... Can you point out a single guy? I don't even think there's a single guy that needs to come up big. I think if the Eagles are going to win this game, it's going to be one with the run. They're going to have to establish a semi-decent run game, which New England has shown they're able to stop. They stop Fournette, stop Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
They've done very well with that this postseason. What I think it's going to come down to, not only kind of getting the run game going just a little bit, just to make the Patriot defense honest, but the biggest thing if they're going to actually win this game is the RPOs. Those run-pass options are going to be huge.
Those RPOs, man, that's just, it's beautiful, man. Derek Carr, it's going to be amazing.
It's gonna play a critical role. If Philadelphia can get that going, like Jacksonville was able to for at least a half, if they can establish that throughout the entire game, they have a great chance of winning this game on Sunday. And obviously, for the RPOs to work, you have to get a run game started as well. So that's why I feel at least the run game is very important to kind of get started. And also, when you run the ball, what happens to the clock? It gets chewed up. It keeps on rolling. And if the clock keeps on rolling when you're on offense, who's not on the field? Well,
I think you looked at the Jags, and they were somewhat successful at that, too. I mean,
that for at least a half. and that also kind of goes into it. As a team, Philadelphia's got to play a complete game.
Yeah, well, game. That would be completely the opposite of what the Jags did. They kind of went into a shell after the second half, but go figure. It's after the second half starts whenever Belichick makes all of his little ticky-tack adjustments that seem to be the biggest difference of anything, so.
Because And then real quick, the defense for Philadelphia, I'm sure you already know what I'm going to say. The biggest thing for them is not just, I mean, you could sit there and point out coverage on Gronk or trying to shut down the backs, but I think the biggest thing is getting pressure up the middle on Brady. You want to beat them. The Giants have showed you how to beat them, especially in the Super Bowl, getting pressure on Tom Brady from the middle.
Yeah. And it's worked. I mean, Brady was he was under a little bit of duress during that Jacksonville game, and it kind of made a difference. But they just make adjustments. Like, I don't know what else to say really, because that's what it comes down to. I mean, that's football in a nutshell. I mean, you got to make adjustments. You got to make the right ones, or else you're going to be like the other 30 teams sitting at home that just are really pissed off, quite frankly. So, or you could be like the Steelers, and I mean, I don't think Haley wasn't exactly the guy, but I don't think the defense had exactly the right the right mojo either. So I think they could have made a change of defense, but they didn't. So you're sitting in a position where you don't have to worry about that. You know you're losing your offensive and defensive coordinator. You know, because it's for a good reason.
Yeah, and there's obviously people trying to make kind of like a big deal about it, like where would they go from here. 2004, they went through the same thing. Super Bowl against Philadelphia, they beat them. They lost Charlie White, Romeo Crennel, and they filled those positions. Last time I checked, they were pretty good after that. So I think they're gonna be okay, as long as Belichick comes back next year. I think that's gonna be a key thing. I think he will, but it is kind of a little nerve wracking, just some of the things you hear. But honestly, I think he'll be back. But and if he's back, no worries about the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator.
Which you mentioned Crennel and Weiss. Man, did their careers ever take a massive duke right after that? Oh my God! Yeah, you want to? Those are some, and McDaniels could do the same exact thing. He might go out to be a head coach, and he could fail again and end up coming back. But
I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be fine in Indianapolis. It's really going to come down to Andrew Luck's health, and I think he's going to be healthy to start the year. He didn't have a quarterback in Denver. That's what it came down to.
You mean Tebow wasn't a quarterback? A playoff?
No, he wasn't.
A playoff game winning Timothy Tebow.
Okay. And then after that game, what happened? Got absolutely steamrolled by the Patriots.
It's a play. Hey, he has more playoff wins than Carson Wentz. Think about that.
That's true.
I mean,
that is true.
I mean, just got to kind of look at it that way. But so the Patriots stand right now as 4.5-point favorites. I figured it would probably begin, maybe fluctuate, and then end at 3.5. We could get to that. I think you'll see a lot of money going on the Eagles here prior to the game. That'll probably drop that number to the 3.5-point margin. Score. What do you think, or do you want me to go first, kind of predicting my score?
Go for it. I'm sure
Okay.
I'll have something to say about it.
You will. So I'm not, in this particular scenario, I'm not saying the Patriots can't win. I'm not saying they won't win, because you say that, they're down 28-3, and then here you go, looking at, the obvious results, first drive in OT, and what happens with that. But I like the Eagles because I like the dynamic on offense. We talked about how the Patriots have, those myriad of weapons that you can go to that you may not even think of. The Eagles are kind of finding themselves in the same position. Granted, it's Nick Foles and not Carson Wentz. If it was Carson Wentz, I think you would feel a lot more confident as a Philadelphia fan. Because, well, why not? It's Carson Wentz. You looked at what he did this year. Definite MVP candidate prior to going down with the injury. But I like Alshon Jeffrey. I like Torrey Smith, Matt Collins, Zach Ertz, the running backs, and Nelson Aguilar. Can't forget about that dude. They have a lot at their disposal that it's going to be tough, I think, for New England to keep up. And the more the Patriots have James Harrison on the field, the more it's actually going to hurt them. Because you can't expect James Harrison to cover anything bigger than an ant. Because it's just not going to happen. So, I mean, you're going to have these mismatches. I mean, you might be able to flare Ajayi out for a catch out of the backfield. You're going to have Clement doing that. It's not going to be advantageous for them to have James Harrison out there. So I like the opportunity for Doug Peterson to take advantage of that, because I don't know if the Patriots really have anybody better to run out there than James Harrison on a down by down basis. So I like the offense to be able to be consistent. I don't think they're going to roll. With that being said, I mean, you have the Patriots. They're going to do their thing. It's the Patriots. I mean, we just look at the history. I mean, everybody probably thinks I'm out here sucking the Patriots' dick, but I'm just looking at the facts. I mean, this is a very fact-based scenario where almost nine times out of 10, the Patriots are probably going to do one or two things better in the end that are actually going to lead to a victory. But I think this is Philadelphia's year. I like them in a very close game. I like them 28-27. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a really good game. And it's going to be fun. There's going to be highs. There's going to be lows. There's going to be constant questioning of people's lives, whether or not they want to live if the Patriots win, live if the Patriots lose, so on and so forth. But I like the Eagles. I think their defense is balanced enough to keep up with the weapons. If you start with, everything starts with Gronk. If you're able to eliminate Gronk, then you have to go to Dion Lewis. After Dion Lewis, then you're really going to start looking at the other wide receivers and how they match up. And I like the way they match up. That's what it comes down to for me. So that's why I think they have the slight edge at a score of 28-27. The Eagles and their fans will be slipping and sliding on a ton of light poles and just getting hammered. So 28-27, Eagles beat the Patriots. Mark it down.
Well, I figured we were going to differ with the how you said things at the beginning. I thought that's the way you're going to be leaning.
Of course.
Obviously, I'm going with the Patriots.
What?
Is there a shocker there? But I think what's going to happen in this game, I think New England with Belichick and Brady will finally score in the first quarter of a Super Bowl. That is something they have never done in their previous 7 trips. So I think they will score in the first quarter, whether it be a field goal or touchdown. I don't think it really matters. But I think they can get on the board early, kind of set the tone and tempo of the game, and kind of swing it into their favor. And honestly, just take control from the start. It's something I feel about this team. I feel like their defense continues to get disrespected, and they're trying to continue to improve, or to prove people wrong. Because they've been one of the best defenses in the league since week 5 of this season. So I think they're going to come out kind of like with a chip on their shoulder slightly. Obviously, Brady's going to come out, want to perform, show that he still has it. 40 years old, doesn't really matter. He's still got it. And who has more drive than Tom Brady, obviously. And I think, Gronkowski's going to play a major role. I really don't see I don't see anybody on the Eagles defense stopping him. They might be able to contain him a little bit, but I don't see there's that one guy, like a Cam Chancellor type of player or an Eric Berry, who's going to be able to pretty much shut him down. And like you mentioned, they got Dion Lewis. Don't forget about James White out of the backfield. Burkhead will be there too. Guys that can catch the ball, get a few positive plays early on in the game, whether it be 5-6 yards, just some bigger chunks to get their offense rolling. And I think they stopped the run pass option too. They had a lot of that the previous 2 games with Mariota and Blake Bortles. Kind of struggled with it early. They figured it out towards the end. And I'm going to roll with the better coach, and the better quarterback, and the better system, and the best situational football that anyone's ever seen in New England. I think I'm going to go with this now. I'm going to go with the score of 23-13. I think they're actually going to win a game by 2 possessions finally, a Super Bowl by 2 possessions. I think this will be the year, but I think you're going to see it. It's going to be like a 20-13 game. In the fourth quarter, it's going to be close. New England's going to come up with a big stop. They'll have one of those long drives towards the end of the game. They'll kick a field goal, put it out of reach. There'll be 2-3 minutes left, and Foles isn't able to come back. That's kind of how I see how it's going to pan out. Well,
you just mentioned something that I didn't even think of whenever it came to the Eagles. Is you mentioned how much better of a team New England typically is because of coaching, but I think this might be the most well-coached team that they've actually faced in the last few years. Overall, there's hardly a weakness with the Eagles, and it took me almost 20 weeks to actually realize that. If you can plug a guy in there like Nick Foles and lose a step, but not put them out of the race.
Really lose a step.
That goes back to coaching more than anything else. And Doug Peterson has been incredible. So I think
that wasn't anything away from him. I just compare the two. They're uncomparable.
No, but it's just something I failed to mention.
I think just situationally, it's going to come down to Belichick and Patricia on defense figuring something out, get some timely stops. And I think Foles will turn it over at least once. I would assume probably more likely going to be an interception. I think that's going to happen, but I think he'll play well, just not well enough to win.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. That's the kind of quarterback he is, though. That's just he's not top tier. He's much like a case to bring the W home.
Exactly. Obviously, Philadelphia has 2 weeks to prepare. I think they're going to be able. And it's not like enough to take anything away from him because he surprised the hell out of me against Minnesota. But do you really think he's going to put 2 of those games together back to back?
Well, here's my question though.
Second game coming off of 2 weeks of rest, facing the greatest coach of all time, preparing for you. I just don't. To me, I don't see it. But we didn't see 2007. Well, some people didn't see 2007, 2011. Eli Manning going there beating New England. So,
well, here's the thing. Do you think New England's defense is actually better than the Vikings?
unfortunately, yeah. But overall, talent-wise, no.
I'm just thinking about the way he was able to just shred. Like he was able to manipulate every little thing he wanted. Which is why exactly a quarterback's always going to be the most important player on the field. Which is why you see Alex Smith. Although if you're the Redskins, if you're a Redskins fan, you're the happiest person in the world because you're not losing much whenever it comes to the quarterback position. I mean, a lot of teams lose somebody that's actually a pretty decent quarterback, and then it's replaced by a scrub who was just washing dishes, at a KFC in the local state. So the quarterback, you look at the Patriots, and whenever they haven't had a quarterback, they've had a quarterback to replace. The Steelers, Charlie Batch was the best backup they've had. Ben Roethlisberger ended up being a pretty decent backup, and that story kind of wrote itself. It's always about the quarterback, and you look at what the Eagles have. If God forbid Nick Foles goes down, that's kind of the end of it. But like I said, I really hope it doesn't happen. But you gotta have a quarterback that's able to do different things on the field. Both teams have one. One is just a lot better than the other. But that being said, I still like the Eagles for the overall balance of the entire team. That's kind of the way I roll.
And there's nothing wrong with picking the Eagles. I think it's strange the way I'm always nervous about these games, like I already said. But in one minute, I think to myself, it could be a close game. Like it really be a close game because I think Philadelphia has. Overall, look at the 53-man rosters of both teams. They have more talented players than the Patriots do, which will keep them in the game. But on the other end, I'm like, man, they just the systems that they run on offense and defense, and the players they have to plug in there, and we've seen it time and time again for the past 18 years. Like, man, New England has guys that just get it done. So on the other end, I'm like, man, if they can force a turnover. Get an early score. I think New England could potentially win the game by 17, 20 points, but I don't think that'll happen. I don't think that this is a Patriot team that can do that.
And the one bad thing for the Patriots is they're playing an NFC East team in the Super Bowl. Not exactly the kindest of matchups in the past.
They beat the Eagles 13 years ago. So.
Okay, but in between that, I'm trying to think of how I would compare the Giants teams that beat them in comparison to this year's Eagles team. The Eagles are more talented on offense. But they always have that big-time wide receiver. They have a big wide receiver. You had Plexico Burress. You have Alshon Jeffrey now.
Yep. And this time you have I think a better tight end, and because I think Ertz is probably the third best tight end in the league. Behind Kelsey and way behind, not way, but he's a tier below Gronk because Gronk's in a tier of his own. But yeah, I agree with that. I think weapons wise, they probably do. And Nelson Aguilar has been coming on, a little guy underneath that's a speedster.
And he was going to be dropped.
Get it done too.
He was wanting to be run out of town by everybody in Philadelphia. And now he's a folk hero.
He's actually been contributing. He's been I like to call him serviceable. He's been doing very well. Hasn't done anything wrong. He comes up with some big plays. Especially, and he's one of those momentum guys. I feel like you get up, you can dump the ball off, and he could be off for a 40, 50 yard play to shift the momentum in Philadelphia's favor. But that's all going to be, left to see on Sunday.
I think somebody just finally finished playing pranks on Aguilar. I think they were gumbo. I think they were putting margarine or butter or whatever in there. Some canola oil. Because it's just like, then just came on. That's all. It's enjoyable. And now here's a question. We were talking about Gronk. Last year, non-factor, because he wasn't really, he didn't play. Is it now? I just had to.
He's a non-factor.
Well, no, no, I just have to think back. I'm like, okay, they played the last 17 Super Bowls. Which Super Bowl was it that he wasn't playing? Now, say he gets injured early and he doesn't play and the Patriots win. Does that diminish the importance of Gronk? I think it does.
They won a game they just won a game 2 weeks ago without him. They went through the back half of the season undefeated without him. And won a Super Bowl last year.
Or does it just bolster the legend, the air quote legend status of, I'm not saying he's not, the air quote legend status of Brady, if he's able to win without him. I mean, which side of that? I think it's more on the side of diminishing the importance of Gronk. Now, can they save that money? Well, if he doesn't play, is he going to be with a team in 2 years, or else are they going to move on? Everything, I think, is really I think the future of the Patriots is going to be determined by the outcome of the Super Bowl.
Ooh, sheesh.
I'm being serious. I mean, they lose the Super Bowl. Is Tom Brady pissed? Is he going to come back? I mean, he's going to come back, but
he's coming back. Yeah.
But
He's the one for sure, though.
But, I mean, will these reports end up coming true where they just keep tearing each other apart? Locker room, on the field, this, that, everything in between. You're losing both your coordinators. I mean, there's obviously been a couple rifts, at least reported. Will Gronk be back? I mean, the team could be a lot different in 2 years. And I think everything comes back to the Super Bowl and the end result. If they win, I think there's legitimacy to believe that, okay, maybe one or two players don't come back because they're content with the fact that they just won the 18th Super Bowl in a row. I mean, there's going to be a lot to look forward to, and it's going to be interesting. I can honestly say I'm actually really looking forward to the Super Bowl because I think it's actually going to be a good game. And I think the big thing about me in the last 2 years is I've kind of stepped away from hating Team A, Team B, Team C, and I've just enjoyed football for football. And I think that's going to be a lot of what goes in this year. Now, don't get me wrong. I still hate the Patriots. I still hate the Ravens. I still hate the Bengals. And the Browns just suck, so there's no reason to really hate them. I'm a Steeler guy at heart, but I'm also a football fan. I'm a football fan number one, Steeler fan number two. And if I can have a good Super Bowl game on the biggest stage, I am all for it. Besides a Game 7 in the World Series, this is about the biggest championship.
I think he just loves football so much, and I think things are going to there's obviously tension within there. 18 years, egos, that much success. There's obvious tension. If you work with anybody for that long period of time, have that much success, there's going to be tension within the locker room a little bit. But
a little bit.
It's going to be everything's going to be fine. But it is. I mean, it is coming to an end though. Like the light is at the end of the tunnel. I think this could very well be the last chance they have the last chance at a Super Bowl with Belichick and Brady. I think they very well might be the last one they get to.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to go that far.
Because it really depends on Brady. That's the big part. Now he'll be 41, but I think the window itself, I think they're going to still be in contention in the next couple of years. I think they have 2 or 3 more Super Bowl caliber years, but this could very well be the last one they actually get to, though.
And I mean, I'm trying to think of teams that are actually going to compete. I mean, you have Pittsburgh, but until the Steelers can actually prove that they're able to beat and actually be a decent team whenever it counts the most, I'm not going to put them over the Patriots anymore. I can't. It's just unfathomable that anybody would actually do that. I mean, I think the Steelers have 1 or 2 more years of a decent shot of getting to the Super Bowl, but that begins and it also ends with Ben Roethlisberger. Antonio Brown's he's going to retire Steeler then again, I thought Blake Griffin was going to retire as a Clipper too. I mean, Antonio Brown's going to be there. Martavis Bryant, maybe. We'll see. You have Juju, who came on and did very well, was very impressive. Running back wise, you look at Le'Veon Bell. He absolutely destroyed the Jets in a tweet today, or in a comment today.
I saw that.
saying how $60 million wouldn't be enough to even want to be considered a Jet. That's believable. I would understand. I would be in the same boat. Although you throw $60 million at me, I'll tap dance. I'll punch, Cleopatra in her face. I don't know, whatever it may be.
Much anything.
I'll do anything. I'll do anything for $600. $6 on a really bad day. You never know. The Steelers have pieces there, but for how long? The offensive line's there. They may only have one more good year together because you have people aging. You're going to have injuries that start piling up here, although that's common for any team. The defense went through its youth stage. Now it's starting to get a little bit older. You're looking at Cam Hayward going to be going into his 8th year. Bud Dupree really hasn't lived up to his potential. Ryan Shazier, we all know about that. He also left the hospital today and was discharged. That's the big step. TJ Watt, a very bright spot. Artie Burns has been pretty well, underwhelming. He talks more than he plays, much like another person in that secondary. Mike Hilton might have been the most consistent person in the secondary this year. I mean, he was an AFC Defensive Player of the Week for crying out loud with 3 sacks. So I like that. But you look at Joe Hayden, he might be there for a year, that's it. There's not a real good eye and feel that they're actually going to be consistent enough to actually be there going forward in the future. But you look at the Patriots, they trade away the top players in their team, get a piece or two in return, and they're better. It's just so stupid.
That's true.
You look at the guy. What's that linebacker's name? Eric Lee. Eric Lee. He was on the Buffalo practice squad. Probably not even going to be on the team. And he goes to the Patriots and he has like 7 quarterback hurries. That very next week. It's just ridiculous. Until the Steelers can ever get to that point, I can't sit here and say that they're actually going to be a decent contender going forward. They have a shot, but it's going to take a lot to fall into their plates to actually be to that position.
Yeah, and I wasn't saying like this for sure 100% is the Patriots' last Super Bowl they'll get to for a while. I'm saying it very well could be. Like if you just look over the course of the next 3-4 years, like with Brady getting older, Belichick's getting older, they're going to end up calling it quits at some point. And like how much longer is Brady going to compete at this level with not having? I mean, he obviously has Gronk and he's in a great system. But, not having like an Antonio Brown or a good running back to take some weight off the shoulders, Mm-hmm. I mean, I still think, like I said, for at least 2, probably 3 more years, they're going to be the team to beat. Because after 2-3 years, Brady will be 43, 44. Then it's real. If he gets to that point, and hopefully he does. But then it's going to get to a point where like, okay, now they're starting to become more beatable. And Belichick's time's obviously winding down too.
Well, and at that point, it's not really going to mean anything to beat the Patriots. I mean, you have a Tom Brady that's playing at 52 years old, and a team's finally going to beat them, and it's going to be like, okay, well, you just it took Tom Brady to be 52 years old for you to beat that team. So it's not going to matter. I think the point of revenge for the NFL against the Patriots, the teams that are like, fuck you, New England, I just beat you. That point's actually coming to an end because it's like, okay. I mean, it took you until these people are damn near at retirement age to actually beat them. It doesn't matter anymore, I think. I mean, I'll be along with the majority of the nation saying I would like to see New England lose. I mean, I think a good 99% of America would say that as well, yeah.
I would say you have the majority, yeah.
That's a grand majority, correct? No, it just won't matter anymore because it's like, okay, whatever. You accomplished it. Good deal. It took you 17 tries. It's just not going to matter. But I don't know about you. So the NFL has had a little bit of shakeup. A lot of things. Was it 2 nights ago? Yeah, during the State of the Union. The Redskins decided to kind of surprise us all by bringing in Alex Smith. So you have the Chiefs moving on from Alex Smith, putting all their eggs in one basket on Patrick Mahomes, who they're going to struggle next year.
That's a great move.
Which it was smart. I'm not going to say it wasn't. I think Alex Smith is in a position where he can help. He can definitely help the Redskins, although they're really not losing much whenever it comes to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was a very serviceable human being back there behind center. They need more weapons on the outside. Josh Doxson will be nice. Terrell Pryor really didn't work out the way I think anybody thought he would, including myself. So where do you think that puts Kirk Cousins?
Like in the ranks of quarterbacks?
Well, I guess in the ranks, but as well as where do you think he's going to go?
I'm sorry.
You're good.
Well, before I address that, I kind of chimed in there briefly, saying that I think it was a great trade for both parties.
Sure.
With Kansas City, you let Mahomes sit behind. He's a pretty good quarterback. I'm learning from him for a year. Now it's his time to shine. You got a pick. You got a nice secondary player as well, just to kind of fill in the defense a little bit. I think that worked out well for them. Redskins side, yeah, you got a quarterback who's 4 years older, but you just saved yourself
millions.
How many millions of dollars? Because Kirk Cousins is going to get paid an outrageous amount of money, and let me tell you what, he's not worth it. I like Kirk Cousins, but he's not worth $30 million a year.
If Le'Veon Bell's not worth $17 million a year, if Le'Veon's not worth that, he's not worth 30.
But I'm just saying, at max, Kirk Cousins is worth $20 million.
That's a good salary.
Because he is probably, what was that?
That's a good salary. No matter what position, that's a decent salary.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm just drawing off the top of my head, he's middle of the road quarterback. But I really like him. I thought he had a pretty good year this year. I think he's like probably 15, 16, 17th ranked quarterback in the NFL, somewhere in around there. But it's telling you what, whoever signs him, if he signs for that amount of money, he does not take some sort of a pay cut closer to the $20 million a year mark, then he's going to absolutely strangle that team because they're not going to be able to afford any other pieces around him.
He needs to go to a team that already has pieces around him. And everybody's talking about the Broncos, but I don't like the Broncos. I don't think the Broncos are the right fit. You have Demaryius Thomas who's getting ready. Demaryius Thomas is bringing in Social Security right now. You have Emmanuel Sanders who's very inconsistent. He's fast. Oh, yippee-ki-yay. Yippee yoo-hoo. But I don't think the Broncos are the team. I don't think that's the right fit. I just don't see it.
Okay. No, I think that's the best fit in the AFC for them. Now, that long term, probably not because it's an older team, especially the defense. And as you mentioned, their two best weapons. But at least there he does have Thomas and Sanders, who are they are better weapons than what he had in Washington last year. I don't even know if they can afford them, but I don't think that they would go this route. But Minnesota, I think, would be the best. It could be Minnesota or Arizona in the NFC, but I think Minnesota would be a great fit for him.
Yeah, I mean, we discussed Arizona.
You got the running backs, you got the wide receivers, you got Rudolph as tight end, and you have a defense that's top 5 in the league every single year. So, but what more? They would be probably the favorite to win their division, and one of the Super Bowl favorites next year.
So here's a team.
If that were to happen, but I don't know where he's going to go.
The team, I think he would be, and we talked about the Cardinals before. I mean, that would be a good fit. I mean, there's some decent weapons around them. But the team, I think, would be better. A team that needs a quarterback, a team that has a quarterback that's old, and, they're talking about trading, talking about different areas to go. And maybe the trust is lost between the two. Granted, it was a different coach. The Giants. The Giants. You have Odell, you have Brandon Marshall, you have Evan Engram. There's a lot of pieces there. I mean, I don't think it would be hard to try to win over the team, sending Eli elsewhere, and bringing a guy like Kirk Cousins. Granted, trying to pay Cousins as well as Beckham is going to be a difficult task.
Exactly.
But
I don't think they can do that.
I'm just thinking of team.
If you would take money like out of the equation, that's the smart move. If money, I mean, they could just, if it was like the MLB and there was no salary cap, hell yeah, let's go for it. But there's a salary cap. I don't think that's the only reason I don't think it would happen. But I agree with you that the Giants should probably look to kind of move Manning. But that's just me.
I'm telling you, I think he would be a better fit in Denver than Kirk Cousins. And that's not just to follow Big Brother.
Just to get all the old guys together.
Yeah, hell yeah. Senior citizen bingo gonna be popping. It's gonna be awesome. There's a lot of chips that have to fall before I think Kirk Cousins finds a good place to go. You look at the Dolphins, Jarvis Landry, he's probably not going to be back with the team. He'll probably be, I mean, who knows where he's going to go? He'll probably end up in Detroit or somewhere like that. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen that obviously we don't even know yet.
A lot of but I would like, and honestly, like, just because the team has been through so much over the past 20-some years, I would love, they have the money, and like $101 million to spend this year, which I think it's something like that, which I think is the most in the NFL next year. I would love to see him go to the Browns.
And he said he would go to the Browns.
Exactly.
Who the hell says they want to go to the Browns, except for a guy that's worth $30 million and has an arm and has talent around him? Like,
that would be a quick turnaround there. You take Saquon Barkley with your top pick and pick I pick maybe like Kirkpatrick or somebody on defense, and with the fourth pick in the first round, and I'm telling you what, you've had a great offseason that way. Great offseason, great draft. Plus they have like 12 other picks or whatever in the draft.
And I'm telling you, you're going to get the attention of the Steelers, you're going to get the attention of the Ravens, you're going to get the attention of the Bengals, and you never know, you might get the attention of the Patriots. Because now, and I'm saying it because now you have an offensive coordinator that has, you actually have an offensive coordinator. You don't have the head coach calling the offensive plays anymore. You have Todd Haley that can work with a guy like Kirk Cousins. He can work with a guy like Duke Johnson. Mm-hmm. He can work with Josh Gordon, for God's sakes. Assuming he hasn't lit one up here in the last, few weeks. There's a lot of talent that is just not there. And it's just, it would make, it would, yeah. I mean, it could be lit. I mean, that could be a good option. And like you said, they bring in Saquon Barkley. Ding, 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 ding. You have a team. There's a lot there.
Because you got young guys. I think the problem is, especially on defense, they're young. Last 2 years, they have been in some pretty close games, but they just haven't been able to capitalize on certain opportunities and haven't been able to close games out in the fourth quarter.
The Steelers should have been 0-2 against the Browns this past season.
Yeah, I mean, by watching the games. But if you look at they need a quarterback. That's their biggest question mark on that team. If they would get Kirk Cousins, excluding, I don't even know what they're going to do with their picks. I wouldn't even care. If they would just get Kirk Cousins alone, I would guarantee you they're 5-11 at least. He would automatically
and that's good.
Get that 0-16 team to 5-11 at least. Because you need a quarterback. You need a serviceable quarterback, or even one like Alex Smith who doesn't turn the ball over, which they have not had for 20-some years.
Yeah. And I mean, if you want to find out if it's just the city that's cursed, or they just whatever, you bring in Kirk Cousins, you put down that baseline, and you figure it out. Because we just said it. No quarterback wants to go there, but he went out of his way to say publicly that he would not mind playing for the Cleveland Browns. It's just.
Can you give that dude?
It's like, what?
5 years, $180 million? Okay.
And you said they have they have over $100 million. They have over $100 million to spend. They could either really do well or they could really fuck this up.
Exactly. But I could see if they could get Kirk Cousins and say they signed him to 5 years, over that 5-year time frame, I could actually, the team I would compare them to would be a team like the Detroit Lions. Because I kind of think Stafford and Cousins are about the same. You might have a year where they go 9-7, they sneak in a wild card, have 2 years in a row where they go 8-8, they'll make the playoffs, and then all of a sudden they go 11-5, and they win the division, and they get in. Like, I could see Cousins being that type of player. But, I mean, honestly, they get Cousins, I think you give them at least get 5 wins. Don't even know what their schedule's like. You don't know what moves are going to happen in the offseason, but I can see them getting 5 wins.
Yeah, you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna get the attention of a lot of people. A lot of people. Some beautiful people.
You saw the power of a quarterback and what it can do in San Francisco.
That's what it all comes back to. Just think if Jimmy G sucked it up out there. It would be completely different how everybody looks at everything. But the fact that he's stuck on, he's gonna be a 49er for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's gonna be there for a long time. If he would have sucked, it changes everything about what happened the last 2 days.
This may sound weird, kind of a little bit. It's on the topic, but doesn't he just look like a West Coast guy?
He looks like a guy that lays out, and he has one of those foil things that go on his face, like he's out there tanning at the beach.
Yeah,
those little like board shorts or whatever the hell they are, just out there, just slaying it. He looks like he's a little bit more meant for the West Coast.
He's West Coast. He's a California. He's a California person. I think all fits him well. But speaking of San Francisco, real quick, I think that's the team next year that could probably make the playoffs. Definitely
in that division. In that division,
yeah.
I mean, as a wild card, there'll be a wild card behind the behind the Rams.
I'm not saying 14-2. I'm saying like 9-7.
Although, but who's to say it can't happen? Look what the Rams did.
That's true.
I mean, the Rams were missing coaching. They had a quarterback, missed the coaching. They got the coach. They made a whale of a difference. And I think, I can't speak for sure, but I think the 49ers might have a better coach than what Jeff Fisher was. But now they have a quarterback, and can they execute? Can they do that? The little things. He was a game manager. Like have you ever watched like those videos of where the quarterbacks have like the mics on and everything like that too?
Yeah.
Like I watched like the last 2 that they had with Garoppolo, and it's just amazing. Like he's so calm. Like I would, if I was in Hawaii during that whole thing with the emergency alert system, if he was just there saying, you know what, it's going to be okay, we're all going to die, but who cares? I would have believed. I would have been like, okay, kill me. And, let the missile hit me right in my nose. Whatever it may be, I would have believed him. I would have been 100% comfortable because he's just relaxed. He knows what he's doing. And it's not like he learned from a bad guy.
Yeah, so he had about 3 years behind a pretty good player himself. So he learned from the best.
I'll tell you what, it's been a rough and rowdy last few days here in all sports. I mean, you look at Chief Wahoo of the Indians. He's off anything in the next year. He's going to be off of everything. It's going to be the C. I saw a proposed thing for a new logo with a C and like a feather down the middle. Something kind of weird like that. You have Blake Griffin signing a massive deal in the offseason and then just getting shoved out the door. Said goodbye.
Great for the Clippers.
And he's
brilliant.
But the thing is, it's about 4 months too late. It's just, and it made me think back about the last 6 years, what the Clippers could have been, what they should have been. It is just disgusting. I mean, I'm not saying DeAndre Jordan's the best talent out there, but they were exciting. They were able to compile wins. They had a bench in the first 2 years. Then they brought in Doc Rivers, who couldn't run a bench. And everything just fell apart. So, I mean, Blake seems to be taking it in stride. And I can't believe he found out via Twitter. Nobody called him or told him that he was being discussed in a trade. He found out by reading a headline about himself.
That's the world we live in now. Twitter runs the planet.
Oh, does it ever? Does it ever? And the
but I think it was great. I mean, you can talk about the timing or whatever, but I think the Clippers played this out well. You signed him to and this is from a business point of view, from the franchise's point of view. You sign the guy to a massive deal, and then I'm not sure if they have to pick up any of that, or if Detroit's taking his entire salary. I don't know how all that works, but if Detroit's taking all of his salary, or the vast majority of it, brilliant deal by the Clippers. They need to deal with DeAndre Jordan now. Get a first round.
Well, there's no point in having him there.
You could turn it around real quick.
There's no point in DJ being there. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a weird offseason. A weird offseason in the NBA. You have LeBron James flirting. It'll be in a little high school girl and flirting with about 35 teams right now.
Oh,
he's in teams in Lithuania. He's flirting with every damn team out there. And I saw a really funny post. Like you said, he's gone. He's not coming back. But there was a post that said he should come to it like a pre-agreement with the Warriors, make the Warriors ship off all these players so they can absorb his contract, and then back out and say, nope, never mind, I want to go elsewhere. Just to rip apart the Warriors. I mean, I just don't understand. It's crazy. I mean,
yeah, I would be more surprised if he stayed in Cleveland.
There's no need to anymore.
Go somewhere else.
And Dan Gilbert wants to sell the team.
He should have done that 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But, what was I going to say? Dang. He's not going to Golden State. It's not happening.
It's not possible.
I would put all the money I have on that. He's not going to Golden State. I think in his most likely destination, and if he's wanting to get championships, it's going to be going to Houston.
Yeah?
Houston, I think, is the perfect fit for him.
God, can you imagine that team? That would be
Very
something
good.
else. What about the Lakers?
I mean, one of the teams. Who was one of the teams on the list? You know where I want him to go.
Back to his other home.
Back to Miami. Dude, he should have never have left. He should have never have left. Better ownership. Got along with Pat Riley for the most part. Stepped a little bit there at the end, but loved Spoelstra. It was a great organization. One that likes, wins. I don't know why he ever left, to be honest with you. But
it's just going to be a wild off season. There's a lot of off seasons that are going to be wild. NFL 1, NBA 2, hockey I don't care about. Baseball. I mean, you look what the Yankees did in their off season. I think they got a little bit better.
Yeah, you think?
just a tad. Just a small amount. So it's crazy. I forgot to ask you this. Where are you watching a game from? What are your plans? Do you have anything exciting?
We'll be watching it in Clarion with the rent. I'll be screaming.
You and Wade. I'll be able to hear you up here.
It's a lucky thing. I was planning on just at first watching it here, but 2 days ago, and I already committed to go back home to watch it there. But 2 days ago, I got this notice on my door it was to our entire building, not just me, about people complaining about noise. I could only think it was probably during the AFC Championship game when I was screaming like an idiot. It's probably me. So maybe it's a good thing, especially with the game being late at night, not going to wrap up till 11 o'clock.
Yeah, hate to see you get evicted over a Patriot loss. Hate to see that.
I'll be screaming either way, so it doesn't matter win or loss, or win or lose.
Oh my god! I was gonna say, I imagine you're probably no. You should take your TV home. Treat it like the biggest thing you've ever done. Hook that bitch up right there. You have to go buy a new TV stand just to hold the thing. But it'll be worth it. You're gonna be ordering a ton of pizza, ton of sa.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say
eating all day.
I don't know what I'm gonna. I'm gonna watch it here at home because it's gonna be comfortable, and we'll have our new little doggy here, so that'll be fun.
That's right. What's this?
Tucker, that little son of a bitch. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time with that. So I can't wait to run out there. Hi. Maybe I'll stop at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's not too far away from there, where we're picking them up. Who knows what I'll do? Maybe I'll make a whole day of it. Like what the hell? Like I'm not gonna take a dog through the Hall of Fame, but
Here you go, buddy.
But no, I'll be watching up here. I might order a pizza in or two, and I'm gonna get some beer. Now, whenever you and Wade are together, do you compromise on the Natty Light, or do you bring your own? Does he drink yours, knowing that yours is a little bit better? Like
I bring my own.
You bring your own.
I say help yourself.
Okay. Now, so he bums off you a little bit whenever you're there? He drinks your stash, or does he?
Yeah. Usually he just sticks to his own, unless I bring one in for him. But
gotcha.
He tries to be respectful.
Okay, so you're generous then. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I try. Get the word out there.
Sounds like a good old time. Yeah, I'll probably go get a sixer. It's going to be nice because I'm not. Actually, this is funny. This is actually really funny. So tomorrow will mark the 1 year anniversary of me leaving Pizza Hut. I walked out and I quit on Super Bowl weekend. And as you know, Super Bowl weekend is a pretty damn big weekend in terms of pizza sales.
Yeah.
So I didn't care. I had enough of that. But tomorrow marks the 1 year anniversary of that. I'm very happy. But that also means, well, I guess technically last year I was able to watch Super Bowl not confined to work. But previous years, and you experienced this, we had to be sitting there slinging the za, cutting the za, doing this and that. And, I can actually work. No, I don't have to work. I can sit there, I can enjoy it, and I'm on vacation that whole next week.
Oh.
So I am
celebrating all week after the Patriots win. What's per se?
One way or the other, my Crisco is getting used. So whether it's to grease up my own pole or what, but we'll see how that goes. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. Kayla comes back next week. It's been a long 6 weeks. 6 fucking weeks. Holy shit. That's a lot of time. That is, especially whenever I see her all day, every day. Besides this, thanks for a long damn time. And see, it's gone to the point now where I don't even want to sleep in the bed because it just feels weird being alone. So I just blew up an air mattress and I've been sleeping downstairs in the living room for like the last month. Like, it's just different how much of life can change without that rock steady person there beside you. That's crazy. It's definitely a crazy time. But so that it's going to be a big week. It's going to be a big week. You're either going to be now. Whenever are you going to order your Patriots gear immediately after should they win? You did that last year, didn't you?
I didn't get anything after last year.
No, I thought you ordered a shirt and shit.
That was the year, the other year when I beat the.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, what's her name? Seattle.
Sorry, I forgot there were so many.
Well, there for a while, I didn't even know what size of shirt I was fitting in. I was outgrowing shirts. I was like, I'm not gonna,
Good for you.
I'm not gonna do that. I got the banners on the wall. I will be immediately ordering a banner though.
Those are some nice banners. I do remember looking at Kayla whenever we were there, and I said, those are some nice banners.
Yes. Hopefully there could be 6. You can join the elite company of the Steelers.
Hey! One time for Pittsburgh. Down there.
Took 2 more tries, but they would get 6 it'd be 6 and 4 in the bowls. So.
Yeah, it's 2 good franchises though. You can't deny that. But I mean, football signing day. Is that tomorrow? Is that signing day tomorrow? The second edition of that, I think. I can't remember what day that is. It might be the 5th. It might be that Monday. It might be the 2nd. I can't remember. It's sometime in the first week. Because this is the first year they did the 2 signing days. You had the early signing period in December. The 2nd, which is the natural signing day in February. It'll be interesting to see people that shift and move. I know Pitt is in there for actually a few 4-star guys, which if you're new to college football and recruiting in general, Pitt is not a big 4-star team. They're a big 3-star and the occasional 2-star, and they play like they're 2 and 3 stars. So that's exciting. That's what's going on. Tomorrow I am going... What's that?
Except when Pitt plays a ranked team in the last week of the season.
You damn well know it. You know it. Which is going to be exciting. I can't wait for round 2 next year. Or round 3, 4, whatever it may be now. Which Pitt's in a good position. They got a good quarterback coming back. I think next year they're officially going to go with the old school as the primary colors because it looks that way in all of their promotional things. Which those uniforms they played in against Penn State, the road throwbacks were titties. A nice set of them. They were tight. They were nice. No, but Pitt has a good quarterback coming back. Going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. Running back position jumbled. Wide receivers same way. Offensive lines brand new. Defense they actually returned some people. New defensive coordinator. They have going to have a new offensive line coach. So there's a lot of shifting. Although that happens a lot in college football because, well, it's college football. There's 700 teams. Something's bound to change. But I forgot about this. I'm probably going to go out and buy myself an Indians hat tomorrow.
There you go.
Which is a big
get
move.
That Chief Wahoo logo or whatever the hell it's called.
I might get it before it runs out because there's actually a sports store up here that was actually advertising. Get them before they're out. So I might do that. I don't know. It's going to be fun. Anytime I see anything Pirates anymore, I just get sick. I can't do it. Can't do it.
Others.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. I'll be repping the land, the Francanas. Should be an exciting week. It's gonna be a great weekend. I know that.
Oh yeah. Highlighted by Sunday. So.
Yeah. So this is Thursday night. What are your plans? Are you heading back tomorrow?
You better believe it. Headed back to the old city tomorrow.
To the Larian. We're heading back to the Lair. That'll be fun. That'll be a good time. That'll be a good old fucking time. Now you gonna hit the pub up while you're home? I haven't had a pub pizza in a long time.
Oh, it's so good. Probably.
I remember that.
Probably.
I don't eat pepperoni in a lot of pizza, but the ones there are just they're up there. Some of the best.
Buffalo chicken's the best in town.
There you go.
Good.
Man. Oh God! Now I got you all greased up over there, don't I? Now, what's going to be your beer of choice? Are you sticking with Miller? Are you going to get a Michelob? What's the?
Probably going to go Miller Lite.
Good choice, solid choice.
Playoff.
Well, you can't go away from what's worked for you. Good choice. Good choice. I'll probably do the same. a little bit of liquor here. Maybe I'll experiment with that a little bit. But the worst part is there ain't shit to eat here. There is not shit to eat, and that's getting bad. It's getting bad. Kayla did a lot of grocery shopping while she's been out there, so they have like a discount store that's run by the Amish or whatever the hell they are. And that's no joke. They do run it. And like you can get like a box of Cheez-Its for like 32 cents. So slightly exaggerating, but I'm guaranteeing you it's under $1 for a full box of it. So I can't wait for her to come home because that means food for me. And that's just me being happy. And it's going to be interesting. And it's going to be interesting the next time we talk because I don't know if I'm going to even have caffeine by then. So I almost broke down last night whenever I got my meal. I thought to myself, and I'm like, should I get a Mountain Dew? And I was standing there thinking, God, don't do it. I've come so far. I swear to God, I drank at least 125 ounces of water today. My mouth is still dry. Like, I think my body's going through severe shock right now. It's a travesty.
Tea, my friend. Get sweet tea.
But, see, I'm trying to go less on the sugar, too.
That's probably a good idea.
But
green tea is good for you.
And I do love me some raspberry tea, though.
There you go.
Raspberry peach tea. Oh, good Lord. It's a tough life we live. It's miserable. Oh, shit. What was I going to say? Oh, pickle dick. God damn it. It was something on the Pat McAfee show this morning that I heard that was absolutely hilarious. Which I did download Sirius XM. I got the free trial so I can go back and listen to all those things, and they are hilarious. Holy piss. We talked about that last time, but I'll tell you what, they're just getting funnier. They had T.O. on. It was recorded yesterday, I believe, but it was on there this morning. T.O.'s a funny guy, man. T.O.'s funny. He seems like he's kind of wisened up a bit, too. Not being that little, rock hard, everything about him there and irritating people, but he's funny. Pat always asks him, he's like, what, are you going to do any penile stroking to get into the Hall of Fame or anything like that? And T.O. was like, there's going to be no stroking of the penises. I can promise you that. Yeah, they just got a lot of funny because they've been on location this week from Minneapolis, and they toured the Minnesota Gophers, the wonderful collegiate team up there, and they did $166 million renovation to their football facilities. That's the cost of a stadium. It is insane.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
I couldn't believe it. And I was like, alright. But it looks nice. Looks very nice. I don't know. So I got Grey's Anatomy tonight, and that I am so happy. Call me gay, call me whatever the hell you want to. But I have fallen in love with a few shows. So The Resident is a new show. Kayla started me on these doctor shows because forever she was watching Grey's. I'm like, yeah, no, that show's stupid. Like that looks, stupid. Looks idiotic. Then I started watching it and I got addicted. And then she was like, hey, let's watch this, this being the Chicago Med. Love it. Great show. The Good Doctor, another fantastic show. The Resident, brand new show started. Fantastic show. So I've learned that anything she recommends TV-wise, including Breaking Bad. Same thing with Breaking Bad. I didn't want to watch it at first. Like, oh, that's stupid. Watched it, fell in love. If you got some time, I definitely recommend watching that. A lot of meth. If you're a fan of meth, that's the show for you. If you like those rock hard rock, the rock hard rocks going through your nose. That's the show you want to watch. I had a guy come at the bank today, talked about snorting something. He was doing it as a joke, but it was so goddamn hilarious. I couldn't believe he actually said it.
Yeah. Hey, can you joke about that, Neri?
Well, I haven't heard too many overdose deaths here lately. But then I had some other old guy busting my balls about going to the bathroom. This guy's 83 years old. Apparently has a weak bladder. Made sure to tell me he has a weak bladder. He asked if he could use the restroom. I'm like, we don't have any public, facilities here. He's like, well, I'm not a part of the public. I'm a PNC customer. I'm like, I don't give a flying fuck if you're the president of the United States. I was like, I don't give a flying F. He was like, well, where do you go to the bathroom? He's like, do you use a bottle? I'm like, I can use a bottle, sir. So I just walked away. I'm like, I'm done entertaining anything of what you're saying. People are just miraculous. If you don't give them what they want within the first 2 attempts, they just turn to criticizing you every single time. But I love my job. I'm not going to argue. I love it. Irritating people just make me want to do better. Little food for
there you go.
Little food for thought. Now I almost don't want to talk anymore because I'm afraid I'm going to ruin that. I'm afraid I'm going to ruin my mojo. But all right, so next time we're on here, we'll have Super Bowl reaction. We're going to either have a very happy gentleman on the phone or a really upset one calling into us here.
Hopefully happy.
Well, hopefully by this time you'll be over it if they lose. It took me about 4 or 5 days to get over the Steelers losing at the Jags, and it was tough. Like my weekend was entirely ruined. It's been a while since I've had a
near divisional round game.
Yeah. Oh god, that game still pisses me off. I'm not over it. Not over it. Lied. I'm a liar. Alright, well, I've got nothing else. I know I've got to eat. I feel myself wasting away. So, if you can believe that, I'm not, I'd have to sit here for at least 5 years without food before I actually started showing signs of wasting away. That might be being generous. But, alright, I got nothing else. Do you have any parting thoughts? Any words of wisdom?
No, I'm really out of ideas.
Alright, well, we're at about an hour and a half of pure gold. So I think we did well. I think we came back with a vengeance. So
Blitz for 6.
You know what's
back to back.
You know what's better than having a blitz for 6?
What's that?
Already having 6 looking for 7.
Okay, I've been doing that for 10 years.
It's been a long goddamn while. It's been a little bit of time. Yeah, we haven't quite found our stride yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there if we can leave the belly aching aside.
Keep building that stairway.
That son of a bitch is long. All right, that's a long stairway. Well, at the top of the stairway, you're going to see all the Roonies. They're all going to be up there welcoming us in with open arms. It's going to be cute. It's going to be nice. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Well, I think I'm gonna sign off for the day here. For the fucking day, I think I'm gonna sign off. So
that's right. Calling her quit. Just go past. Blitz for 6. Let's get it.
Blitz for motherfucking 6. All right. Well, I'm just gonna stay humble. I don't know if you heard of this gentleman. His name's Kendrick Lamar. He's a great guy. Have you heard of him? Obviously, everybody's heard of him. So he's a great friend of the program. He's always here. So we're just gonna stay humble here. Ooh, ooh. Like it's. Oh! All right. Alright, I'm signing off. I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm gonna go enjoy some grub. There. Alright.
See ya.
We out this biz.